Hey everyone, welcome to another sessions of conversations with courageous cancer warriors. And I have an amazing guest today that I am so excited. She coaches to something that's near and dear to my heart. She's a life coach. She's a public speaking coach. And she's also gone through some health um, issues like the rest of us have, and is going to be sharing her journey with us. I would love for you to welcome Miss Christine Harper. Christine, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Christine and I know each other because we are co-authors of the upcoming Women Who Boss Up book that focuses on healthcare, lifestyle, and just really health, lifestyle, right?
Yes.
And I am really excited to have you on today because I love what you do as a coach. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what services you provide?
Well, I'm going to start off by telling you about my Aspiring Speakers program.
Yes.
I've partnered with Powerhouse Motivations, and we've been offering this 8-week session, which is really small group coaching. And at first I thought, is anybody going to want this? But people want it and people enjoy it. And that's what really gets me jazzed up, because we take a small group, maybe 8 to 10 people, and we have you work on a set of skills to improve your public speaking.
That.
Sounds
Who
simple.
doesn't who doesn't need that, right? Especially now in the age of technology when all of our faces are on every single screen. To me, that's public
Yes.
speaking, right?
Yes.
So I love that. I love that you're providing that.
So it's funny because we were doing this before this whole pandemic hit. And when the pandemic and shutdown started, I said, oh, we are already set up. We are in a good position to deliver, just what we've been doing. So people need to come on and take advantage of this.
Yeah, definitely. And we're definitely going to be providing the links to how people can find you, but how
Okay.
do they find out about your speaking program? Where do they go?
You can go to my website, christineaharper.com, or to powerhousemotivations.com.
I love it. I love it. And besides that, you're also a life coach, correct?
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
something that you've gotten into.
So my life coach journey is about what I have discovered and uncovered about myself over the years. When we talk about health challenges, you know this, but when you talk about health challenges, people think, oh, yeah, you need to take some vitamins, you need to get on this drug. No, there's a lot more to overcoming any health challenges. And I had a series of them. There was about a 2-year period where it seemed like I was in and out of the hospital. And it was scary and it was overwhelming. But here I am 10 years later, and I felt that in my life coaching business, I can help incorporate some of that fear and angst, but really incorporate the overcoming, incorporate the resilience
Yes.
that is necessary to get through some of that.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you're speaking to my soul right now because like yourself, I got into life coaching because of the trauma that I experienced going through, breast cancer and getting a bilateral mastectomy and all of that. So it's very rewarding, right? For you to
Yeah.
be able to support people. And is there anything that you'd like to share in a story or something that really stays with you?
Well, it's funny. I used to measure things by the pain level. And I used to
Oh,
think, okay, getting a root canal, that's pretty high up there on the pain level. Getting your wisdom teeth removed, that was another one. Having a baby. But when I had to go and get a biopsy for what they suspected was breast cancer, I never felt that was such intense pain. And it's almost like you are pinned down because of the position they put you in order to do the biopsy. And I realized why that was necessary, because I would have hit somebody.
Yeah.
So it was very painful. And then to come out of the procedure, and you're praying for right outcome. You're praying for, oh, this is negative. They made a mistake. They saw dirt on the screen, or whatever, whatever kind of excuse you want to come up with. But when you're in the middle of it and you come out of that very painful experience of a biopsy, and you are told, yes, this is cancerous. Yes, it's spreading. Yes, we need to do a mastectomy right away. It's a blow. It's a major blow.
Yeah. And, it's something that we talk about it, but we really don't go deep with it. And I know for me, my background is tissue. It's what I do. And I'll never forget when they took my biopsies. I'm like, I want to see them. Like when I was in the delivery room with my sister when she had her first baby, and like, I'm looking at the placenta, right? And everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, this is what I do for a living. So when it came time for me and I was looking at my own biopsies, I knew before I even walked out the door that I was going to be dealing with something. And a lot of times the waiting for the results is like the worst part ever. I waited for over 7 days to get my results back for my initial biopsies. And that's traumatizing.
Exactly. Because you just come up with all these scenarios. It's like sitting at the airport and watching people, and you start making up stories about who this one is and where that one is going, and why those children are so unruly. So waiting for that biopsy result, you're thinking, yeah, this could all be a mistake. And you really don't want to face it. And that's part of the healing process. You got to start facing it.
Yeah.
As soon as you are emotionally ready to, but start facing it and really start doing what is yours to do.
Yeah.
And so that was where I look back on it and I said, wow, my resilience and my faith really helped me to get through that relatively unscathed. But I say relatively because, like I mentioned, there was a few years where I was in and out of the hospital. I had gotten pneumonia. I had shingles, which is another very painful experience. And each time I was presented with some new disease, I didn't know much about them. Like, I thought only old people get cancer. Now, I know that sounds silly, but that's what, when I grew up, that's what I was led to believe.
Yeah.
If you're old and your body starts breaking down, this is what's going to happen. Shingles?
Right.
What is that?
Right.
It's like, is this a new disease? I know cold and flu. But then I had a stroke.
Oh.
And I did not know, I was in the house by myself. I didn't know what was happening. I kept saying, oh, I just need a glass of water. But I was in the house by myself, so nobody could get me a glass of water. I kept thinking, if I drink a glass of water, I'll feel better.
Yeah.
So that was a whole made for TV drama, getting the ambulance to come.
Yeah, that's scary. So how did that go? So you weren't feeling well. At what point did you call the ambulance?
Well, I was actually in the bed, sleep, and I couldn't move in the bed. I couldn't turn over. And eventually I could reach the phone, and I called my daughter. And she said, why haven't you called the ambulance? And I said, for what? I don't need the ambulance. And she said, hang up, I'll call you back. Now, mind you, part of this story, my daughter lived in California and I lived in Maryland at the time, but she managed to get the right 911. I don't know how that works. She got to the right 911 and the police and the ambulance showed up.
Oh, that's amazing. And so that leads me to a question for everything that you've experienced, because just one of those things in somebody's lifetime
Mm-hmm.
can really be life-changing, and you've gone
Yeah.
through so much.
Yeah.
Who, or it might be one person or it might be many, but who truly made a difference for you?
There were multiple people who made a difference. One person, Patty, stood by my side the whole time. Um, let's go back to the breast cancer. When it was determined that I had to get a mastectomy, I was scared, but I knew it had to be done, or I felt it had to be done. And they scheduled me, I believe it was an 8 or 9 a.m. procedure. Patty shows up at my house at 5:30 with the directions. This is pre GPS.
Like you're printing the map quests, right? Yeah.
Early GPS. It shows up with the directions printed out. I mean, early with her coffee. She's like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. I was like, wow. And of course, stayed with me because they didn't, I don't remember if they kept me overnight, but stayed with me until the procedure was done and I was in recovery. She was very much a pillar in my faith and a pillar in the demonstration that some people are going to love you through whatever your difficulty is. And she's one of those people.
And everybody needs a Patty. Patty, if you're listening, thank you. Thank you for taking care of our girl, because you are an amazing soul. And I know that you're not the only one out there. So for those of you who just love on people and make sure they're good, thank you. Right. And that's
Absolutely.
what this show is about, is like, how do we support each other? And like, it's people like Patty that help us get through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so,
I always say, you can't thank them enough.
right.
So people who are caregivers, and maybe this is more of my TV dramas, you see people who are caregivers and the family members come over and they dismiss them or they're rude to them. This is my mom. That wasn't my experience, but I think about people who have to go through that, and I think, just bless you, and please know that you are appreciated by the universe, if not by all the individuals that should be expressing appreciation.
Definitely. And you bring up a good point of, I found that people just know how to express themselves however they need to express themselves. So especially if you're in the middle of your journey and you're listening to this, it's okay during the time that you're going through what you're going through, that if somebody's like rubbing you the wrong way, like just let them go for a hot second. Doesn't mean you need to cut them off, but be around those that really truly let you up and make it your burden a little bit easier, right? Because there are people during difficult times that don't know how to react. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. So for you, how did you keep a positive mindset throughout this whole, your journey has been quite incredible.
Positive mindset, I kept that by returning to the basics of my faith. And I continued to stay prayerful. I continued to take time for reflection and meditation. So my faith was what really helped my mindset stay on point. Now, hold on a minute. I wasn't always this way. I didn't always feel positive and, oh, this is going to work out. There was a lot of fear.
Yeah.
And when you are feeling fear, that, to me, that's when you're more likely to get into an argument with someone who says the wrong thing. You're more likely to not be open to suggestions about your course of care or what the next step is. But in fact, commercial alert, I have a free ebook, and it's called 31 Thoughts to Your Mindset Reset.
Love
So
that.
every day, what I'm offering to anyone who's open to receive it is a thought or an affirmation a day in which you read the affirmation, reflect on it for a few minutes, and then write something in your journal. And it's not going to be published. I'm not going to ask you to read it to me, but I give you the opportunity to just do some self-reflection and put your mindset back on course. And you'll find that when you have these positive messages that you keep feeding yourself, your mindset will stay on course.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And definitely we'll make sure that that link gets provided to everybody, because that's such a amazing tool to have. For me, I started a daily gratitude post that I still do on Instagram, and it's what allowed me to stay positive. And you're absolutely right. You look for the negative, you'll see it. If you look for the positive, you'll see it, right? And so that's why it's like one of those things of, my boyfriend and I, we say it all the time. Like, if one of us is being a certain way that we know we don't declare ourselves to be, he'll call me out on it. And it's like one of those things of like, we say that straight out. If you're looking for the bad in me, then you'll find it, right? Mm-hmm. So I love this concept, and I love the fact that it's 31 days, because it really allows you to just really get deep into that practice and make it a habit, which is so important to do.
Yes.
Now you're just amazing, and I hope those that are listening, really feel the hope and the difference. In a positive way, like you've gone through some stuff and yet you've still come out, you made lemonade out of lemons, right? And I hope people hear that.
I hope they do too. Resilience. So it's a word that's to me, about being reborn and regenerated every single day. So something you mentioned about your daily gratitude posting. So I keep a daily gratitude journal. Mm-hmm. Every morning I get up and write 5 things from the day before that I'm appreciative of.
I love it.
It's a practice, and I do it even when I don't feel like doing it. I do it when I'm groggy. I'm doing it when I have 8 a.m. meetings.
Yeah. Because that's when you need to do it the most, right? When you don't want to do something, lean in.
So I do that all the time, and I don't usually go back and read them, but once in a while, I feel the need to be reinforced. And I go pick up that book, one of those books, because I have a box full of them around here. I pick up one of those books and I say, oh, that was a pretty good day.
Love it.
Oh, look at that. Oh, and then sometimes it's a gift that I gave to somebody else. Well, I was able to do something for someone else. It's good to be in a state of gratitude, and it's good. You have to develop it though. It's like a muscle. You have to practice the recognition of what is good in your life so that you be open to more good and seeing more good.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree with you more. Now, speaking of books, talk to us a little bit about this Women Who Boss Up book, and what has that experience been like for you?
Very challenging. Very challenging and exciting, because I always think about the expectation. What is my expectation? And the Women Who Boss Up book, I've been working with Tam Luke for not a whole year, but I've known her for about a year. And when she talked to me about putting this book together, I thought, interesting idea. And then when we went into the logistics of how this is going to work, I'm just like, whoa, what? You're going to do what? It was a lot. It was a lot to take in. So I'm glad that she has the vision to put all this together. what I'm enjoying about being a part of this Women Who Boss Up book is that I have met some incredible women, such as yourself, in a variety of life journeys.
Yeah.
And so when I see, oh, there are other women who are doing not exactly the same thing I am, but something similar. There are other women who are taking this tact of, how do I take care of myself and help others in the process? How do I boss up? What does that mean to me? That has been an eye-opening and very enriching experience.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's just like you mentioned earlier. I think the underlying theme throughout this whole book is gratitude. I think everybody is grateful for where they are now, and they've all overcome some adversity in their lives to get them to where they are right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that. And I have to agree with you. We're in some really good company. So thank you. Thank you for being a part of it. I absolutely am honored to be able to share the pages with you. And your story is truly amazing. And so how can people find you?
Well, you can find me at my website, christineaharper.com. And I invite you to go on the website. There you will be able to download the free ebook that I mentioned, the 31 Thoughts to Revealing or Improving Your Mindset Reset. And also find out about some other things that I'm doing, my life coaching journey and my Aspiring Speakers Club. You'll be able to leave your information and we will connect.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today and to share your story.
You are very welcome. Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.